Since you are here, it means that you're looking for a different kind of beauty, a different definition for beauty. And I'm here for you. Maybe not to show you the way, but to hold the candle for your own journey. Because we are now in a position to affirm that beauty is much more than the trend. And yes, I might fit the trend in my appearance, yeah, but that's because I love makeup, that's because I am blonde, even though this is what I am. And I'm here for you. Maybe not to show you how you should be, of course, because that's another trend, but to show you, to remind you, to remind you and to hold the candle for you to experience and understand that beauty is something more than just fitting a trend. In this regard, I state that beauty is also the way that you're feeling. If you're feeling coherent with yourself, if you feel congruent with your values, if you're feeling good and safe, that's beauty too. Now, we women are living in a society or in a place in which safetyness is so much overlooked, let's say. When coming to femininity, when coming to everything that has to do with women, there are some aspects which I want to tackle today. First of all is the feeling of security, and after that is the feeling of force. As a sensitive person, feeling safe in this world is such a big challenge. And it's not only a challenge, it's a constant and way too much of a challenge. Therefore, feeling safe as a woman in this world is not encouraged, it's not sustained, and you have to really have some magical stuff happening in your life to feel safe enough. Okay, most of the time safetyness is something that we have to repair inside of us. Maybe we are safe as a context in life, okay, that we see life going day by day, but feeling safe, especially in our femininity, that requires different skill, different context. It requires a different emotional context, and for that, maybe yes, we do need some other people around, but maybe we are in a position to change just a slight position in our internal being so that we feel much more safe. Now, in this life, we are right to seek security from men. That's so right. That's how it should be. Yet, how many of the men are as they should be? Therefore, yes, it is in our feminine impulse to trust the man in feeling safe. That's how it's supposed to be. And if you're a man, you have to learn for that. Please do that, okay? But if you're a woman and you want to feel safe in your body and in your femininity, you need to know some things. First of all, it's a emotional construct. It's a regulation of your nervous system that does not keep you feel safe, because it was safe in the past to feel that you're not safe, to feel that you have to survive, to struggle, to compensate, to cope. And feeling safe, it does not feel familiar at all. Not to mention that safetyness, it does not mean that you automatically feel safe. Therefore, first of all, it requires that you understand this emotional compound, this, structure of your nervous system. And from this point, you might be able to add a little bit more of safe feelings into your body. Until you do that, you cannot, this is the baseline for everything that you want. If you want to be, to enhance your beauty, if you want to feel better or become that woman that you have in your mind, if you want to live that thing, first of all, you need to feel safe. Safetyness is the baseline. And I know this sounds logic, but when it comes to really living in your life, it's so hard to find that feeling of safetyness, okay? So for that, what might help you is to really reconnect with your body, feel your body, touch your body, feel your body again, feel the pleasure in your body. And when I mean that, I mean as simple as feeling comfortable in your clothes, or feeling comfortable in a position that you're in, or really pay attention and add weight and add importance to every single moment in which you feel a little bit more secure, when you feel a little bit more, pleasure, every single moment in which you feel these things, even the tiny part of them, and you enhance them, you are adding to your feeling of safetyness. And that is important, not only how you feel about yourself, but also how you regulate or re-regulate your nervous system. And when that safetyness is added in layers, you will see that you have a baseline, a foundation for everything that you want to achieve. May it be a certain look, a certain level of health, or that ambitious woman that you want to be. Either the case, adding to your safetyness will enhance your probability and chances to become what you want. The second thing that it's important to our state of feeling beautiful is a sense of coherence. And not only to have a coherence between your thoughts and your feelings, but also a congruency that is between your words, your values, and your life objectives. So when you're moving in life with this integrity, with this level of integrity, you can find that life, it's also very structured and it holds you better. Sometimes it's frustrating for me because I have one idea into my logical mind. I have one idea that wants to be streamed, and when I'm here in this context of creating video content, I feel like everything is colliding, and even the information that I'm getting, it has to learn to reorganize itself into being coherent in this form, because I'm very coherent when it comes to writing, and I'm very coherent when it comes to writing. Then any idea that, pops into the stream, everything is coherent, is, linked together, and I can create something so coherent, so logical, so beautiful that it's almost art and does not require that much of, editing, okay? But when it comes to creating video content, my tools, my spiritual tools and my mental tools, resources and my skills, I feel that they need more time to adjust to a different way of creating art, and they have to reorganize themselves in order for me to create. Because here's my thing, you can find information in every single corner of this whole internet and world, but it's like, there's one thing, the information, and it's another thing, the right information packed in the right, emotional vibe, so that it will encode inside of you so easily. Because sometimes it's not that much about the information per se, but it's about how that information, what emotional vehicle that information has, so that it lands in your mind and in your heart, so that you don't have to do anything else. You just listen, and that information just landed in you, and from that point it's like a seed that will find its way out from the ground, okay, after germinating. So it's like, I know that my magic involves spiritual channeling and also a bunch of mental resources. I'm so rich inside of my mind and my knowledge, and I have so much large reservoirs in the emotional states, and I know I can transfer to people, and yet there's so much at every single layer that they are just bumping in each other to find the right words to be expressed. So probably the right thing to do is create so much that eventually everything that it's there is like flowing and flowing and flowing, and I'm creating so much that they are just in peace, because eventually I will get that every single idea will be expressed. Okay, this is my level in which I have to work in my coherence. Maybe you have other places in your life in which it's so important that you work on your specific coherence. For example, if you feel like if you feel like you have so many thoughts, and if you feel like relationships are not holding that space for you, you need to reinvent and create new spaces for you, okay? And especially in an emotional field, we need to express our emotions so much, so on time, so complete, that eventually it will come to a stream that is fluent, that is coherent, and that is congruent with your values. When I was younger, I used to say that it's so important for people, and I like that in people, to have a sense of congruency, to make sense. What you're saying with what you're thinking, with what you're basically doing. You can call it integrity, but I think that what I sensed as a teenager when I used the word, the other one, oh my god, congruent. I was expressing a way of being, a way of living in which you are expressing emotions that are congruent to what you're feeling. It doesn't have to be quite the same, but it's congruent and it's also aligned with your values. Okay, you are doing stuff, or people are doing stuff that is, you see that their words and actions and their mind and their spirit, they are all linked together, and everything they do and everything they say, it makes sense. I was living in such places, that in such context that sense, especially common sense, was non-existent. Therefore, I saw the value of being congruent. And sometimes you cannot be honest. Sometimes you cannot be transparent. Sometimes it's so hard to be vulnerable, okay? But maybe it's good enough if you are congruent with yourself, okay? If you're not, maybe you cannot express fully what's in your mind, and what bothers you when you are in a context with certain people, and maybe you cannot say that you're feeling sad, because that would, I don't know, create something that you do not want to, but at least act in a way that it's not hiding that you're not running away from what you're feeling, that you are there with your feeling, okay, and you are staying there, and from that point you can be in the right moment for people, and to show yourself, but not hide, also not hyper express yourself, but be there, and in this way, this is a perfect example of being congruent with yourself, okay? So it's like you're not trying to hide, or I don't know. Another example is, maybe you're in a situationship, yeah, maybe you're in a situationship with someone, and you have your regards, and they have their context, and the situation is in a certain way, and you cannot express, or maybe you don't want to because of the other, but you won't act like you like it. You won't act like it's everything all right. Act in your way without trying to hide or run, but you're there, even though you are not fully explicitly saying that, So that was a thing. Another example is when you see people and you see that they don't make sense, So it's like making sense, make sense of everything, I mean, you don't have to force it, but make sense or create sense. Or if you're in a place when you're feeling stuck, create a way, that's congruent with yourself and your values, like find ways. And you don't have to force it. This is a thing about femininity. You don't have to force it, but you have like easily move into, easily cradle into. And when you're moving your way, or really literally moving your way out, you are creating from inside out. And I think this is the most overlooked feeling about being a woman, like creating inside out. And that is a thing about safetiness, about feeling safe. That is a way of by becoming the person that you want to become, or that level of beauty, health, of career. And that's the way you have to easily move into. And it's okay. Moving easily does not mean that you're not moving. It means that you're moving gracefully. Next time, please enjoy your day.